the part where you guys clap. Hello, you're watching Gabriel Del Rosa Tonight Show with me. Gabriel Del Rosa. Today on our show, no, I'm just kidding. This is the Q&A segment for the CC Network. It's a podcast, by the way. This is Natalie McClurry. Natalie, how goes it?
It goes good.
Cool. Okay. Tell me a bit about yourself.
Well, I am 16, and after today, I am no longer a junior in high school, but a senior. And I have two younger siblings, a sister and a brother.
Big stuff. Okay, tell me a little bit about your family.
Well, as I said, my sister is, or my brother is the youngest, and then my sister is between the two of us. And my sister's name is Tiffany, and my brother's name is Tyler. My mom's name is Tracy, and my dad's name is Tim.
It's a lot of T's. 4 T's. And you're the only N. Bummer. Well, you said you were the oldest child in the family. What's it like being the oldest child?
Pretty difficult, actually, if you could believe that.
Oh, I can't. Because I am one. So, explain further, like, maybe some of the challenges of being the oldest child.
Well, you're constantly, as the oldest, receiving things and privileges at the same time as your siblings. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So, give me some examples.
So, I have 3 examples. So, first would be with bedtimes, which sounds like a little kid term. It's not. And so, my parents told me when I was about 14 years old that I could go to bed whenever I wanted. And my sister was 11 at the time. The same day, they told her the same thing. 3 years younger. How is that fair? And then, my sister's trying to get a cell phone, but she's only 13, and I was 14 when I got a cell phone. And then, my brother is allowed to watch PG-13 movies at age 11 that I was definitely not allowed to watch until I was 13.
Man, it seems like you have an unfair situation on your hands, being the oldest child in the family. Okay, but what about your siblings? I would imagine being the middle or the youngest child in the family, they might have some of their own challenges.
No.
Okay. Okay, we'll take your sister, for example. You give stuff to her, like hand-me-downs, whatnot. When you want to buy something new, or you get sick of your old clothes, you go out with your mom, buy something new, but when she wants something new, what does she do?
Often she gets my old clothes.
Okay. That's not fun. Well, what about sharing a room with your sister?
Yeah, I definitely did that.
Okay. Who's the messy one?
Me. She didn't like that, but why did you just assume that one of us was messy?
There's always a messy one. Trust me. Okay, so those are just 2 examples of your sister having things to complain about that you could potentially complain about.
Okay, fine. But what about my brother watching PG-13 movies that I wasn't allowed to watch?
Okay, well, let's take a look at him for a second. I mean, he's the youngest child in the family. He has 2 older sisters. Boss, no offense. I'd imagine that older sisters might occasionally boss the youngest one in the family around, the hierarchy thing and sibling relationships. Yeah? Okay, so those are some examples of your siblings who could complain in their situation. I'm going to have you look up a verse for me. Philippians 2:14 in the Bible, by the way.
Yes.
On the song.
Right. So I forgot to bring the Bible, but I will pretend that I have one.
Here's one.
So, sure. Thank you. Okay. Philippians what?
2:14.
Do everything without complaining or arguing.
So how does this relate to your life?
Well,
This situation specifically.
I guess that we shouldn't complain because that it's not to.
Okay. Good. And okay. Continuing that train of thought, why shouldn't we complain? What's the reason we shouldn't?
Well, I mean, I guess because it doesn't really help how to make worse.
Hmm.
And because we don't have a right to.
Bingo. We do not have the right to complain. So, real quick, I too am the oldest child in my family, and I had challenges. I died. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I had challenges when I was in my parents' home, and I'm still in my parents' home. But
Right.
I can identify with what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And but I do see some of the benefits of being an older child, like say more privileges. So I think there's things to be grateful for when you're the oldest child. So that's just a reason against complaining in the family life. Well, to wrap things up, you said that we shouldn't complain in our family because it makes the situation worse. And what was the main reason?
Because God commands us not to,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't have the right. I think that's what
You
you
do not have the right. Cool. Well,
Yeah.
Now that I've proved you wrong, it was truly worth it having you on this podcast. And I hope our listeners and watchers have learned so much about complaining in the family. Just as much as I have. All right. We'll see you all next week for another
Bye.
Q&A segment. Goodbye. Or not. We're not doing this.